Caught on Dashcam. My wife and boss's secret affair exposed. So, picture this, my Dashcam catches my wife playing a sneaky game of let's sneak the boss into her house. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well for either of them. They both got the boot from their jobs, and now she's facing eviction. Talk about a plot twist, right? Well, look who it is. Get ready for a tale that's totally out of this world, straight from the Betrayal Room. So, guess what? Motion detection isn't just out there nabbing those wild drivers, it's also on the lookout for those questionable life choices we all make. Who knew, right? Today on the Betrayal Room, we're hitting the brakes to peek at those choices that just can't keep a low profile for too long. Buckle up, folks. Hey there, can I snag your license and registration real quick? Thanks a bunch. You won't believe what my Dashcam just recorded. Picture this, my wife, all sneaky like, bringing her boss into our house. I mean, who knew her living room was the new hotspot for secret meetings? So, picture this, they both got the boot from their jobs, and now she's facing eviction. Talk about a double whammy, right? Life really knows how to throw a curveball sometimes. Using a throwaway account here because, well, obvious reasons. So, here's the scoop, my wife, who's 32 and fabulous, and I, a dashing 34-year-old, have been hitched for 6 whole years. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun, right? So, here we are, kid-free for now, but let me tell you, we've been chatting about tiny humans for a whole year. Can you believe it? It's like we're in a never-ending episode of Should We or Shouldn't We? So, picture this, I'm cruising down the highway, minding my own business, when out of nowhere, a car nearly decides to play tag with my ride. I thought, whoa, that was close. And immediately thought, I need a dash cam. Because, nothing says I'm a responsible driver like having a little camera buddy to catch all the action on the road. So, I went out and got myself one. Safety first, right? So, here's the deal, it's not a high-tech spaceship or anything, just a straightforward little gadget that keeps tabs on when your car is revving up. Plus, it's got this nifty parking mode that springs into action if it senses any motion. Simple, right? No frills, just the essentials. So, I decided to play DIY hero and installed it myself. Honestly, I didn't give it a second thought after that. Just another day in the life of a home improvement legend, right? So, picture this, a few weeks back, the vibe just went all wonky. Like, something was definitely up. So, picture this, my wife suddenly turns into a late-night workaholic, her phone becomes a top-secret vault, and she's giving me the cold shoulder like I'm a snowman in July. What gives? Initially, I just figured it was the stress of her new gig getting to her. So there she was, juggling the whims of a boss who could make a drill sergeant look like a teddy bear, all while trying to show the world, and herself, that she was the superstar of the making. Talk about a high-wire act without a safety net. But then I started spotting some red flags that really got my attention. So there I was, minding my own business, when suddenly my phone-obsessed friend turned into a secret agent. Texts were flying in like popcorn at a movie theater, but the moment I strolled in, poof. The phone disappears faster than a magician's rabbit. What was she hiding? A top-secret mission? A cat meme? The suspense was real. Guess what? She finally decided to switch up her phone password. First time since I've known her, talk about a bold move. So, I casually brought it up with her, and she goes, "Oh, I'm just freaking out about data breaches at work. I'm on a mission to update all my passwords." So, picture this, 3 times in 1 week, she pulls the classic "I need to stay late" card, all in the name of helping her boss get ready for some oh-so-important meetings. Classic, right? So, there I was, being the knight in shining armor, offering to scoop her up after work one night. But instead of gratitude, she got all defensive, like I was trying to steal her lunch money or something. "Oh, you don't need to do that," she said. "I'll just Uber home." I mean, come on, I was just trying to be nice. So, she decided it was time to step up her game and give her look a little extra pizzazz. Fresh threads, some sassy lingerie that's totally new to me, and a whole lot of makeup magic. Once more, I found myself trying to make sense of it all. Maybe she was just aiming for that I'd totally have my life together vibe at her shiny new gig. But when you throw everything else into the mix, my suspicions were starting to bubble up like a pot of water on the stove, just waiting to boil over. The moment of truth hit me like a ton of bricks when she casually dropped the bombshell about her team-building dinner on a Saturday night. I mean, really? Who schedules a bonding session when the weekend is calling? Talk about a buzzkill. Seriously, Who schedules work events on a Saturday night? It's like planning a beach party in a snowstorm. Come on, let's save the weekend for fun, not spreadsheets. So, she waltzed in around 11:30, reeking of booze and some cologne that I could swear wasn't from my collection. Classic, right? So, I took a little peek at our shared cell phone bill, and guess what? I stumbled upon a treasure trove of texts to a number that was totally MIA from her contacts. Intriguing, right? So there I was, just casually tossing out a question like, "Hey, who's got your thumbs working overtime on that phone?" And boom. She goes all defensive on me, claiming I'm some sort of secret agent spying on her. Talk about a plot twist. So there I was, minding my own business, when she suddenly threw a curveball my way. "Why are you keeping tabs on who I'm texting? Do you not trust me?" she asked, eyebrows raised like she was about to solve a mystery. Talk about a plot twist. I took a step back, playing it cool and keeping my cards close to my chest. No need to spill the beans on how much I was onto them. So, I thought, why not keep my peepers peeled and soak up some more intel instead? So, there I was, all set for a 3-day adventure in the world of business travel. Exciting, right? So there I was, just another day in the life, when my meetings decided to play nice and wrap up early. I thought, why not? I'll beat the traffic and head home a day early. Who doesn't love a surprise day off, right? So, I rang up my wife to drop the bomb that I'd be home early, but instead of the usual excitement, she sounded like I just told her I ate the last slice of pizza. What gives? So, she casually mentioned that she had this dinner date lined up with a co-worker, but guess what? She'd totally ditch it. Classic move, right? I told her, "Hey, no need to hit that cancel button. I'll be rolling in around 2 p.m., so you can still enjoy your dinner plans." She looked like she just found the last slice of pizza in the fridge, total relief. So, there I was, cruising into our driveway the next day, and bam! My dash lit up like it was auditioning for a role in a sci-fi movie, all because it sensed some motion. Classic, right? Back then, I was just cruising along, totally oblivious to what was brewing. Who knew, right? Just as I was ready to make my grand exit from the car, I spotted a sleek black BMW rolling up behind me, like it was auditioning for a role in a high-stakes action movie. The moment I laid eyes on that car, it was like a light bulb went off in my brain. Bingo! I knew exactly what I was looking at. So, this little gem? Yep, it used to belong to my wife's boss. Can you believe it? Talk about a conversation starter. So there I was, just a few months ago, at the company holiday shindig, and guess what? I spotted it. So there I was, stuck in the car, and instead of making a grand exit, I pulled the classic move, pretending to be on a phone call. Genius, right? Who needs to actually talk to someone when you can just fake it? As I peered through my rearview mirror, there she was, my wife, making her grand exit from the house like she was stepping onto a stage. Cue the dramatic music. There she was, strutting around in that fancy silk robe I snagged for our anniversary. Talk about a gift that keeps on giving. So there she was, strutting up to her boss's car like she owned the place. She leans in through the window, and bam! A kiss right on the lips. Talk about mixing business with pleasure. Not just a little peck on the cheek, but a full-blown, fireworks in the sky, passionate kiss that could make the stars jealous. So, there she was, grabbing his hand like it was the last slice of pizza and dragging him into our house. Adventure awaits, folks. I was on the verge of losing my lunch, and let me tell you, it wasn't a pretty picture. So there I was, backing out of the driveway like a pro, cruising down the street with the finesse of a secret agent. I found the perfect spot to park, close enough to keep an eye on our house but sneaky enough that I wouldn't raise any eyebrows. Mission accomplished. So there I was, phone in hand, ready to capture the magic happening at her front door. Lights, camera, action. So there I was, just sitting for a solid 90 minutes, feeling like a human statue, numb and completely out of it. What a time to be alive, right? At long last, the front door swung open, and out strutted her boss like they were the star of a one-person show. So there's my wife, trailing behind him like a detective in a mystery novel, still rocking her cozy robe like it's the latest fashion statement. Classic. They locked lips once more, right there in the doorway, putting on a show for anyone who happened to stroll by. Talk about a public display of affection. He hopped into his car and zoomed away like he was late for a hot date with destiny. So, there I was, not exactly ready to throw down the gauntlet right away. So, there I was, cruising over to a hotel like it was my second home, checking in like a boss, And then I plopped down with my laptop to download the dashcam footage. Just another day in the life, right? I went a little overboard and created backups of everything, like, if my computer were a hoarder, it would be the star of a reality show right now. So there I was, armed with my trusty dashcam footage, a video I captured on my phone, and a treasure trove of text message screenshots straight from the phone bill. Classic detective work, right? The next morning, I picked up the phone and dialed a lawyer. Because, when life throws you curveballs, it's time to call in the pros. So, there I was, laying it all out on the table like a game of cards, asking what my options were. What a wild ride. So, here's the scoop, we're in a no-fault divorce state, which means my partner's little escapades won't really shake up the asset by too much. But my lawyer, being the wise sage they are, suggested I play detective and gather all the paperwork I can. Just in case. Better safe than sorry, right? So, here's the scoop, the apartment was all mine, like my secret stash of snacks, because I owned it before we tied the knot. This little detail gave me some serious leverage in the whole marriage game. So, there I was, playing the role of a financial detective, hunting down every last document like it was a treasure map. I made copies of all the important stuff, because who doesn't love a good stack of paper? And let's not forget the grand finale, securing my personal belongings like they were the crown jewels. A day well spent, right? So, there I was, sneaking back to the apartment like a ninja, waiting for her to clock in at work. I packed up some must-have goodies, just in case the drama decided to take a turn for the worse. Better safe than sorry, right? I shot an email over to the HR folks at my wife's workplace. So, I went ahead and attached the dashcam footage, the kind that captures all the juicy bits. I laid it all out there, explaining how her boss was getting a little too cozy with his direct report. Yikes, right? Oh boy, I was fully aware that I was dancing on the edge of their company policy like it was a hot lava pit. Yikes. So, my wife had dropped a hint about this before, back when another department was caught up in their own little mess. Classic, right? The weekend finally rolled around, and I thought, alright, it's showtime. Time to have that chat with my wife. So, there I was, just chilling at home after my trip, and she hits me with the classic, "Why have you been so distant?" I thought, oh boy, time for some entertainment. I hooked up my laptop to the TV and hit play on the dashcam footage. Let the show begin. She looked like she just saw a ghost. Seriously, her face went as pale as a sheet of paper. She stumbled over her words, insisting she had a perfectly good explanation up her sleeve. I was curious, so I asked, "So, how long has this little adventure been happening?" She claimed it was just a little oopsie and that it only happened a handful of times. Classic, right? I couldn't help but chuckle and point out that she had the audacity to bring him into our house and plant a kiss on him right there in the sunshine, like it was some kind of romantic movie scene for all the neighbors to witness. This was no accident, my friend. She kept making that choice over and over again, like a kid who just can't resist the allure of a candy store. Seriously, it was like her personal version of Groundhog Day, but with decisions instead of a rodent. So there she was, tears streaming down her face, practically pleading with me to get it, like it was some sort of cosmic joke that just flew over my head. It didn't mean anything, she cried, as if that would magically make everything okay. Classic, right? She still had a soft spot for me, can you believe it? So, here we are, ready to tackle this thing together, right? Let's roll up our sleeves and dive in. So, I casually dropped the bomb that I'd already called in the legal eagles and that HR over at her workplace was totally in the loop about our little romance. Surprise, surprise. So there I was, just minding my own business, when I decided to reach out to her company. Little did I know, that would send her into a tailspin. She acted like I was trying to throw a wrench in her whole career. Can you believe it? Drama alert. I shot back that she pretty much did it to herself when she chose to cozy up to her boss in the first place. The very next day, she got a ring-a-ding from HR, asking her to waltz on in for a little chit-chat. Oh boy, what could that be about? She let out a scream that could wake the neighbors, claiming I had zero business meddling in her work. Yikes. And just like that, 2 days later, she found herself packing up her desk and saying goodbye to the office coffee machine that had been her only friend. Oops. Guess what? Her boss got the boot as well. So, here's the scoop. The company had this super clear rule about managers getting cozy with their direct reports. Especially when they decided to keep it all hush-hush. Classic, right? The whole power struggle turned into a ticking time bomb for the company, And let me tell you, it was not pretty. So there I was, jobless and single, waving goodbye to my marriage like it was a bad reality show. Yep, I officially filed for divorce. So, here's the scoop, since the apartment had my name written all over it like a trophy, I had to play the bad guy and serve her some eviction papers. Gave her a solid 30 days to pack her bags and hit the road, just like the law says. Fun times, right? She was all like, "You can't just kick me out." And then hit me with the classic, "Where am I supposed to go?" Talk about a plot twist. I told her, "Hey, that's not my circus, not my monkeys." She should have put on her thinking cap before diving into the whole cheating fiasco, right? So, there I was, minding my own business, when suddenly my phone turned into a buzzing, beeping, texting machine. She was calling and texting me like I was the last slice of pizza at a party. It was non-stop. 1 minute, she'd be all "I still love you." And then drop the bomb about how she totally messed up. Classic, right? Then, she'd whip out the big guns and threaten to spill the beans about me being abusive to everyone and their grandma. If I didn't let her stay, I definitely wasn't going to hear the end of it. I wrote it all down, every little detail. You could say I was on a mission to capture the epic saga of my life, one note at a time. Every text, every voicemail, every email, it's like a never-ending game of digital tag, isn't it? So, my lawyer gave me this golden nugget of wisdom: "Hey, buddy, stick to writing whenever you can." Apparently, it's all about having a paper trail, just in case things get a little messy. Who knew legal advice could come with a side of common sense? At first, a few of her mutual pals jumped on her bandwagon, waving their flags and cheering her on. So, get this, she's been spinning this wild tale that I'd totally flipped out over a tiny mistake, and now I'm on a mission to make her live on the streets just because I'm feeling petty. Can you believe it? So there I was, caught in the middle of a soap opera I never auditioned for. I mean, I didn't want to pull anyone else into our little melodrama, but hey, I wasn't about to let her spin the story in her favor either. So, I decided to gather my trusty crew and unveil the epic dashcam footage. The kind that makes you feel like a movie director for a hot second? Spoiler alert, they were not ready for the wild ride. And just like that, they threw in the towel on defending her. Poof. Gone. Talk about a plot twist. So, my buddy Mark was all like, "Wait, what?" I had no clue it was like that. She acted like it was just a peck at the office shindig or something, Like, come on. So, guess what? Her boss decided to slide into my DMs. So, he fired off an email, all dramatic like, threatening to unleash the legal hounds because, apparently, I've single-handedly wrecked his career. Yikes. I shot it over to my lawyer without even batting an eye. So, my lawyer just dropped the bomb that the big bad threat was all bark and no bite. Turns out, the footage I snagged was totally legit since it was on my own turf. And guess what? I'm completely in the clear to spill the beans about all those workplace shenanigans to HR. Who knew standing up for myself could feel this good? As the eviction deadline loomed closer, my wife started to resemble a character straight out of a sitcom, frantically searching for solutions like a contestant on a game show where the prize is keeping a roof over our heads. So, there she was, all set to dive into our joint bank account for a little fun transfer action, but plot twist. I had already whisked away most of the cash to my secret stash, leaving just her slice of the pie in the joint account. Classic move, right? So there I was, minding my own business, when she suddenly pointed a finger at me and accused me of swiping her cash. Can you believe it? Me, a money thief? The only thing I'm guilty of is having a wallet that's lighter than a feather. So, there I was, staring at the account records like they were some kind of mystery novel. And guess what? They revealed that I had only taken out what I had put in. Plot twist, right? She flat out said, "Nope, not packing up this place." The 30-day notice rolled in like a bad sitcom plot twist, and guess what? She was still hanging around, spinning tales of woe about having no place to crash and being as broke as a joke without a job. Classic, right? So, I decided to take the plunge and file some formal eviction papers with the court. Just a casual day in the life of adulting. So there I was, minding my own business, when she hit me with the ultimate plot twist: "Are you really going to make me homeless after 6 years of us being a thing?" Talk about a dramatic moment. I told her, "Hey, you're not homeless. You just don't live here anymore." I threw out the idea that her boss might want to take her in, considering they were practically sharing a blanket at that point. I have a sneaky feeling her boss wasn't exactly winning any Employee of the Month awards either. So, here's the scoop: He was probably just chasing that wild rush of a late-night rendezvous with his assistant, not exactly in the market for a heartfelt romance. I mean, come on, they both just got the boot over it. Talk about a plot twist, right? So, picture this, I decided to play it safe and installed some security cameras in the common areas of my apartment. Yep, even got the thumbs up from my lawyer, because who doesn't want a little legal backup while keeping an eye on things? Just trying to protect my castle and all that jazz. Thank goodness I did, or I would have walked in on her playing a little game of let's ruin my stuff out of pure spite. So there I was, minding my own business, when she decided to give my gaming computer a little wine shower, totally unintentional, of course. But wait, it gets better. In her quest for redemption, she somehow managed to turn my leather couch into a scratch canvas with my car key. Who knew a casual hangout could turn into a slapstick comedy? So, I went all Sherlock Holmes on the situation and jotted down every little detail to toss into the eviction case. You know, just in case the drama escalates. So, the court date was locked in, and let me tell you, I was strutting around like a peacock, convinced I was about to snag a victory. So, picture this, the apartment was all under my name. Yep, I was the big cheese on the lease. So there I was, armed with a mountain of evidence about her wild antics, and I had checked off every single box on the eviction checklist like a pro. Who knew moving could be such a legal adventure? So, guess what? The eviction hearing is just around the corner. Buckle up, folks. Alright, time to play the apartment escape game. I'm on a mission to whisk her out of there faster than a pizza delivery on a Friday night. Let's make this happen. Sure, the divorce might drag on like a bad movie sequel, but hey, at least I'll finally get my space back. Time to reclaim my territory, folks. Stay tuned, folks. I'll drop some juicy updates when I've got more to spill. Oh, please. She's acting like it was just a little oopsie-daisy, but we all know better. Oh, come on. You don't just casually glide around in a robe and jump into your boss's car like it's a scene from a comedy. That was a full-blown situation, not some little oopsie-daisy moment. So, in my last little tale, I spilled the beans about how I caught my wife getting cozy with her boss right in our own living room. Yep, you heard that right. I managed to get them both fired and even kicked off the eviction process. What a wild ride, huh? So, buckle up, folks. A whole lot has gone down since we last chatted, and I'm here to spill the beans on all the juicy updates. The eviction hearing played out just like my lawyer said it would, like a bad movie with a predictable plot twist. So, the judge threw me a bone and said, "You win." Now my wife has a week to pack her bags and hit the road. Talk about a ticking clock, right? There she was, jaw on the floor, as the judge laid it all out like a legal buffet. Apparently, since the apartment had my name on the lease, I was the king of eviction town, and I had played all my cards right. Who knew being a landlord could be so dramatic? Honestly, she was just overstaying her welcome like a bad house guest who thinks the party's still going strong. Time to pack it up, lady. So, the judge took a good look at the whole situation and, surprise surprise, pointed out the property damage that was just sitting there like an uninvited guest at a party. Yeah, that definitely didn't do her any favors in the case. As we strolled out of the courtroom, she turned to me with those big puppy dog eyes and said, "Hey, I still don't have a place to crash." I just strolled away like I was in a dramatic movie scene, you know? One moment I was there, and the next, poof. Gone. It was like I had my own personal exit music playing in the background. Classic me, right? Her housing drama? Not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. So, there I was, gearing up for the big divorce showdown, when my lawyer stumbled upon a little financial surprise that raised some eyebrows. Yikes. So, there I was, minding my own business, when I caught a glimpse of my wife doing a little financial shuffle. You know, those sneaky little transfers from our joint account to some mysterious destination. What could she possibly be up to? The plot thickens. So, picture this, transfers happening left and right for months on end, and guess what? They're stacking up like a tower of pancakes at a Sunday brunch. Pretty soon, it's a hefty sum we're talking about. So, my lawyer just dropped this little bombshell. She might be stashing away some cash like a squirrel hoarding nuts for winter, all in prep for the big D, divorce, that is. Who knew my life was turning into a financial thriller? Honestly, I saw that coming from a mile away. If she's got a knack for fibbing about cheating, you better believe she can spin a yarn about cash too. He suggested bringing in a financial sleuth to uncover the juicy details. I knew it would cost me a pretty penny, but hey, sometimes you just have to splurge for the good stuff, right? Totally worth it. So there I was, minding my own business, when she decided to play the role of a sneaky thief. Can you believe it? I was just itching to find out. The financial investigator? Oh, let me tell you, they were worth every single penny. Like, if I had $1 for every time they saved my bacon, I'd be rich enough to hire them full-time. Seriously, they're like the Sherlock Holmes of money, solving mysteries and uncovering secrets faster than you can say, "Where did my cash go?" So, picture this, he stumbles upon the fact that my wife had a sneaky little bank account tucked away, one she totally forgot to mention during the whole divorce circus. Classic, right? So, there she was, sneaking cash from the joint account like a ninja in the night, stashing it away in her secret little hidey hole for months on end. Classic move, right? So, picture this, the money transfers were already flowing like a river long before I stumbled upon her little rendezvous with her boss. We're talking almost 3 months of sneaky transactions before the whole scandal blew up in my face. It looks like she had been cooking up a little scheme for quite some time now. Maybe she was plotting her grand escape to run off with her boss. Classic, right? Or maybe she was just looking for a cozy little safety net to catch her when life decided to throw her a curveball. So, here's the scoop. She was playing a little game of hide-and-seek with the marital assets, and let me tell you, that's a major faux pas in the divorce court drama. So, picture this, a lawyer steps in, all serious and stuff, and drops the bomb that, sure, she can totally take her cash out of the joint account. But wait. There's a twist. Apparently, not spilling the beans about her secret stash during the divorce is a big no-no. Cue the dramatic music. She wasn't just playing hide-and-seek with marital property. She was pulling a fast one on the court by keeping her assets under wraps. Talk about a plot twist. Oh boy, the fallout from this could be a real doozy. So there I was, ready to storm in and have it out with her, but my lawyer, in all his wisdom, was like, "Hold your horses, buddy. Well, I guess it's time for a little courtroom drama. Let her discover the truth in front of a judge and jury. Grab your popcorn, folks." And oh boy, was it a total thrill when she finally did. So there I was, watching my lawyer strut her stuff in front of the judge, and suddenly, bam! Her face went from 0 to tomato in record time. You could practically see the steam coming out of her ears. What a sight. All eyes in the courtroom were glued to her, and even her lawyer looked like he'd just walked into a surprise party he wasn't invited to. You should have seen her face. It was like someone just told her the world was flat, pure shock and a sprinkle of embarrassment, all wrapped up in one priceless expression. So, picture this, the court, all serious and stuff, suddenly decides to hit the pause button on her sneaky little stash of cash. Boom. Account frozen. Talk about a plot twist. So, guess what? She was tossing in a chunk of her personal savings like it was confetti at a parade. Oh, it's not just about the cash in her joint account, my friend. So there she was, account frozen solid like a popsicle in the Arctic, and let me tell you, she was feeling as broke as a college student on ramen noodles. You won't believe this. So, there I was, just minding my own business when she rang me up that evening, practically begging me to have a little chat with my lawyer about getting her account unfrozen. Talk about a dramatic twist, right? So, she spun this tale about needing cash to hunt for a new pad since the eviction notice had crashed her party. Classic, right? So, I casually asked her, "What makes you think I'd jump in to help after you pulled that sneaky money-hiding stunt in court?" So there she was, sweet as pie, asking for half of our joint account like it was her birthday and I was the generous uncle. Little did I know, she'd been playing a sneaky game of money hide-and-seek for months, quietly siphoning off cash like a pro. Who knew I was sharing my life with a financial magician? So there I was, minding my own business, when this lady decides to pull a fast one and try to rob me. And guess what? Now she's asking for a favor. Can you believe the audacity? So, there I was, just minding my own business, when I dropped a little bombshell that sent her into a tailspin of emotions. Oops. So, I had a little chat with the bank, and guess what? I went ahead and hit the freeze button on her joint account too. Boom. No more spending sprees. So there we were, stuck in a financial limbo, waiting for the court to play judge and jury on our cash. Talk about a nail-biter, right? So there she was, shouting like a banshee, claiming I was out to pull a fast one on her and that freezing the account was totally against the law. Can you believe it? So, I laid it all out for them. The bank's not budging on that frozen account unless we both give a thumbs up, and honestly, I had zero motivation to do that. So, there I was, sitting pretty with my own stash of savings, all laid out for the court to see. Totally above board, right? Meanwhile, she was off doing her own sneaky thing. Classic. Well, let me tell you, that financial trickery she tried? Oh boy, it blew up in her face like a bad magic act. Talk about a plot twist. So, in the grand finale of my divorce saga, I walked away with all the cash from our joint account and a whopping 70% of the secret stash she thought was safe and sound. Talk about a plot twist. So, her lawyer pulled a fast one, claiming that a chunk of the cash was from her own pocket, which is why I didn't snag the whole pie. But hey, I still walked away with a pretty sweet victory. And guess what? Alimony was a no-show too. So, picture this, her lawyer, all suited up and ready to fight, goes in there swinging. But alas, our heroine had a job before the big pink slip and thought she could pull a fast one by hiding her assets. Spoiler alert, the judge wasn't having any of it and slammed the door on that request. Better luck next time, right? And as if that wasn't enough, she got slapped with a fine for her little fib and had to cough up the cash for the financial sleuth who dug up that sneaky secret account. Ouch. So, picture this, after all the paperwork was signed, sealed, and delivered, she found herself knee-deep in a financial mess that could make even a seasoned accountant weep. Yikes. So, picture this, 2 months post-divorce, and guess who decides to pop back into my life? Yep, she reached out again. She mentioned she was having a tough time keeping her head above water when it came to money. So there she was, fresh out of a divorce that had sucked her dry, like a vampire at a blood bank. And her cousin? Well, let's just say the novelty of having her crash on the couch was wearing off faster than a pair of cheap flip-flops. Time for a change, right? So, it turns out that the cousin has been throwing some pretty blatant hints about when she's finally going to get her own pad. I mean, come on, subtlety is clearly not her strong suit. So, she spills the beans about her rent woes, saying she's totally strapped for cash and just needs a little breathing room to get her life back on track. Classic, right? So, I casually asked her what she was really after, and guess what? She sheepishly confessed that she was looking to crash at my place for a bit. Classic move, right? So, picture this, our guy is just living it up, having a blast with a married lady, right? But as soon as the drama starts to unfold, he pulls a classic Houdini and vanishes. Talk about a plot twist. Well, that special connection really went up in smoke, didn't it? So there she was, trying to sweet-talk me into letting her crash at my place, claiming it would only be for a couple of weeks while she hunted for a job. Classic, right? So there I was, standing my ground like a rock, and then she pulled out the big guns, guilt trips. Classic move, right? So there I was, the villain of the story, accused of swiping her savings like some sort of financial ninja, leaving her high and dry with nada to show for it. Classic, right? Oh, here we go again. It's like a classic episode of Blame Game starring her as the lead. She's always pointing fingers at everyone else for the messes she's whipped up herself. What a plot twist. So, I had to jog her memory a bit and say, hey, remember? You're the mastermind behind hiding that account from the court. So, I had some savings stashed away, but I made sure to spill the beans about them like a good little financial citizen. So there I was, minding my own business, when she came at me like a detective in a crime drama, convinced I had swiped her emergency fund. I mean, really? She was practically waving a magnifying glass in my face, demanding I hand it back. The drama was real. Can you believe it? Here I am, minding my own business, and she's out there pulling a fast one with the cash. And the kicker? We weren't even an item anymore. Talk about a plot twist, right? I gave her the old "don't call me again" line and then, bam, hung up like a pro. Mic drop. I've officially joined the no contact club, and let me tell you, I'm all in. No more texts, no more calls, just me, myself, and my peace of mind. It's like a spa day for my brain. So, here's the deal, I wasn't exactly itching to keep in touch with her, but I wasn't playing hide and seek either. Just kind of floating in that awkward middle ground, you know? So, here's the deal. She just won't stop popping up to point fingers at me for her messes. I've finally had enough and decided it's time to hit the eject button on this whole situation. Bye-bye, drama. She's been ringing my phone off the hook ever since. Seriously, it's like I'm the star of her personal reality show. So, I dropped a little note saying, hey, I'm good, thanks. And since then, I've been on radio silence. Not a peep from me. So, picture this, my doorbell camera, the little spy that it is, caught her strolling by my apartment one day while I was chilling at home. But guess what? She hasn't made a comeback since. Talk about a dramatic exit. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on in her life these days, and to be real, I couldn't care less. So, I'm guessing her cousin finally said, "Enough is enough," and booted her out, leaving her on the hunt for a new place to crash. Classic family drama, right? She was living the dream, but then she went and tossed it all aside for someone who was only in it for the thrill of the chase. Classic case of love being blind, right? Hey there! Big shout out for all the love and those awesome comments. You guys rock. Did she really think she could pull off a grand heist of cheating, lying, and swiping cash and still waltz away like a winner? Oh, bless her heart. Absolutely mind-blowing. And can you believe the audacity to ask for a place to crash after all that drama? You know those folks who walk around like they're the main character in a movie, completely oblivious to the fact that they're actually in a comedy? Yeah, some people have zero self-awareness. It's like they've got blinders on, cruising through life without a clue. And here we are, folks, at the grand finale. Drumroll, please. It's the final update. Stay tuned for the big reveal. Alright folks, gather round because it's time for the grand finale of this wild ride. So, the court has done its thing, and guess what? I'm back in the single club. Assets are split, and I'm ready to mingle again. Cheers to new beginnings. So, here's the scoop, this apartment is all mine, but guess what? I've made the big decision to sell it and pack my bags for a new adventure. Time to find a fresh pad. I've got a suitcase full of bad memories in this place, and let me tell you, it's time to hit the road for a shiny new beginning. So, a whole month after my last post, I get this message from a total stranger. Talk about a plot twist, right? So, guess who I bumped into? My ex-wife's boss's wife. Talk about a plot twist, right? So, there I was, minding my own business, when out of the blue, she tracked me down online and decided she wanted to chat. Talk about a plot twist. So, there I was, nodding my head like a bobblehead, saying, "Sure, let's meet." She gave me a big ol' thank you for spilling the beans on the affair. So, it turns out this wasn't her husband's rookie mistake when it came to playing hide-and-seek with an employee. Nope, he's got a bit of a track record. For months, she had that nagging feeling in her gut, like a cat on a hot tin roof, but alas, no solid evidence to back it up. Just a hunch and a whole lot of eyebrow-raising moments. So, there I was, playing the hero and reporting them to HR. Next thing you know, they both got the boot. Talk about a plot twist that confirmed her wildest suspicions. As soon as she got the news, she was like, "Time to hit the eject button on this marriage." And filed for divorce faster than you can say. What was I thinking? After 15 years of marital bliss, or maybe not so blissful, she walked away from the divorce with a hefty settlement. Turns out, those significant assets really paid off. Who knew that tying the knot could lead to such a financial windfall? She walked away with the house, snagged half of his retirement fund, and scored a hefty chunk of alimony. Talk about a sweet deal. So there he was, cozying up in a tiny apartment that was more shoebox than living space, all while trying to make ends meet after his fancy job went poof. Talk about a plot twist, right? So, picture this, our guy here, all dressed up and ready to impress, walks into interviews like he's about to win an Oscar. But then, bam! The dreaded question pops up, "So, why did you leave your last job?" And just like that, the room goes cold. Turns out, getting fired is like showing up to a party with a giant "I'm a loser" sign on your forehead. No company wants to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Talk about a tough crowd, right? So, get this, my ex-wife and her ex-husband had a little roommate situation going on after they both got the boot from their places. Talk about a plot twist, right? She's chilling in my apartment, while he's hanging out at his place. Classic setup, right? Well, it was all sunshine and rainbows for about 3 weeks, and then, boom. They had a colossal blowout and went their separate ways. Talk about a dramatic plot twist. So, it turns out their fairy tale romance hit a few bumps when reality decided to crash the party. Unemployment and housing issues, anyone? Not exactly the stuff of happily ever after. So, guess what? My ex-wife has been on a mission to reach out to me again since I last filled you in. It's like she's got a new hobby or something. She went all out and whipped up a brand new email and some shiny social media accounts just to sneak around my blogs. Talk about dedication. So there I was, down on my luck and practically waving a big ol' sign that said help. I documented every little detail, like a detective on a mission, but when it came time to hit that reply button, crickets. Silence. Nada. What a plot twist, right? So, 2 weeks roll by, and guess what? I get this fancy letter from her new lawyer. Yep, Not the same one who handled the divorce drama. This one's all about threatening to sue me for, wait for it, intentional infliction of emotional distress and defamation. Sounds serious, right? Like I'm some kind of emotional ninja or something. So, picture this, I get this letter that accuses me of being some sort of villain, saying I reported her to HR like I was plotting a grand scheme. Apparently, I also shared private videos, all to ruin her reputation and career. I mean, come on, where's the popcorn for this drama? So, I shot the letter over to my lawyer, and boy, did he hit back with a zinger of a response. So, he was all like, "Hey, just so you know, that dash cam footage? Totally legal, my friend, right from your own backyard. And guess what? Telling HR about the workplace shenanigans? That's like a superhero move, totally protected. Oh, and by the way, if you're speaking the truth, you've got a solid shield against any defamation drama." So, he threw in a little tidbit about the restraining order and casually hinted that if the harassment keeps up, we might be looking at some criminal charges. Yikes. Well, it's been radio silence from her and her legal since then. Crickets, I tell you. So, guess what? My ex-wife finally snagged a job at this tiny local company. The catch? She's raking in way less dough than she used to. Classic plot twist, right? So, picture this. She's sharing a cozy little nest with a roommate in a budget-friendly apartment way over on the other side of town. Talk about a classic urban adventure. So, get this, she's been going around, telling anyone who will lend an ear that I'd totally flipped out over her little blunder and, in a fit of revenge, ruined her entire existence. Can you believe it? Luckily, our circle of pals has caught on to the real deal and decided to give her the cold shoulder. Cheers to that. So, here I am, all about that healing vibe and strutting my way into the future like it's a catwalk. So, I've been hitting up therapy lately, and let me tell you, it's like having a personal cheerleader who helps me untangle all that betrayal drama and tackle my trust issues like a pro. Who knew talking could be this therapeutic, right? I even dipped my toes into the dating pool a couple of times, just for kicks. Guess what? The apartment is officially up for grabs, and I've already had a couple of showings that are looking pretty promising. Who knew selling could be this exciting? So, here I am, daydreaming about new digs in a totally different neighborhood. I'm even toying with the idea of a cozy little house with a yard. Can you imagine? A place where I can finally unleash my inner garden gnome. So, guess what? The divorce settlement actually turned out to be a bit of a jackpot for me. I'm sitting pretty with some solid financial options now. Who knew heartbreak could come with a silver lining, right? You know what? That dash cam? Best decision I ever made. Seriously, it's like having a little co-pilot that never complains or asks for snacks. Best investment ever. So, the boss's wife and I have been keeping it casual, you know? Just a little chit-chat here and there, like old pals. We're not exactly besties or anything, but we do the occasional "Hey, how's it going?" check-in. You know, just enough to keep the friendship meter from hitting empty. She's back on the dating scene, and let me tell you, it's a sight for sore eyes. It's like watching a flower bloom again, so encouraging to see her thriving. Big shout out to everyone for all the love and wisdom you've thrown my way on this wild ride. You guys rock. Let me tell you, having folks back me up and say, "Hey, you're not losing it," has been a total game changer. It's like a warm hug for my emotions, and trust me, I needed it. Cheers to fresh starts and waving goodbye to those toxic folks. Bye-bye, drama llamas. Your ex and her old boss really went and set their own lives on fire, didn't they? Seriously, 3 weeks? What's the deal with that? Wow, that was a spectacular flameout. I mean, it went down faster than a lead balloon at a party. Well. It looks like her little escapades have come back to bite her, and now she's left holding the bag, without that oh-so-convenient backup plan she was counting on. Oopsie daisy. Therapy, dating, and selling the apartment? Wow, you're like a superhero reclaiming your life one epic move at a time. Keep it up. And that's just downright fantastic. Oh, you better believe that Dashcam was the best money I ever spent. Seriously, it's like having a little guardian angel riding shotgun with me. Alright, folks, grab your pens and paper because it's time to jot down some wisdom. Who's ready to take some notes? Let's do this. So, spill the beans. What's the wildest thing your Dashcam has ever captured? I bet it's a doozy. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, we're all ears. Big shout out for hopping on this wild ride with me. Hey there! Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, And give that notification bell a good ring-a-ding so you're always in the loop for our next epic video adventure. Catch you later, alligator.